YouTube, what is going on? Welcome to another video. My name is Nicolo Rigano. You are watching my barber dreams. In this one, we are doing a burst fade, keeping it super curly, super long on top. This is my boy Evan. He's another barber at the shop here at Main Street. So we're gonna get right into it, man. I started with that 3-guard as our base layer as usual. Now I'm just balding out in a circular motion. This will be your guide for the entire cut. And you see that little trick that I did there with my fingers? I'm using that as a guide to make sure both sides are even with that circular shape. So now I'm going to foil out the bald area here. And you're going to follow this circular shape for all the guidelines. So I got no guard, blade all the way open. Again, I'm following the shape of that circle. And then I'm going to gradually close the blade until that line is gone. There's Evan's Instagram if you want to check out my boy's work here. But yes, you're gradually closing that blade until that line is gone. Then you usually have to go back and use the corners of your trimmers to kind of blend that out further. Now we got the 1-guard open. We're going to follow up right after that guideline. And you notice my guidelines aren't as spaced out. If you are starting out in barbering, I recommend that you make biggest guidelines at least an inch, as possible. If possible, I wanted to try more of a compressed burst fade on my man right here. I think it always looks a little bit better. No matter what, I always end up spreading it out. So this is kind of a combination of fading up and down. So we went to the 1-guard, then the 2. Now I'm back down to my 1.5. Blade is all the way open, and yes, I'm using my corners as I'm fading down the guideline. So I hope I'm not going too fast, and I hope this makes sense to you. So we're fading up, we faded about halfway, and now we're fading down. Now I got the 1-guard all the way open, same deal, using the corners. And this is a really good way to keep a fade kind of lower if you don't really want to raise the fade as much. This is a good technique. So now we got on the 1/2-guard. Again, very careful using those corners, gradually closing the blade, and especially if you're starting out, try to flick past that line. Any line that you see, I feel like a lot of us are scared to flick too much and raise the fade. Flick past the line, and I promise you that line will come out ever so gently. So now I'm going to cross check and fade up. So if I faded down on something, I'm going to fade it up. And if I fade up on something, I'm going to fade it down, right? That's cross checking. That's going to ensure a best possible haircut that you could get. So I jump back to that 1.5. Now I got the 1-guard on there. 1 open fades right into that 1.5 open. Hope that makes sense. And yes, detail. Now I'm just kind of looking for dark spots, things I could clean up. So I always say get through your system as fast as you can and detail the rest of the haircut. Detailing will be the big other half of your haircut. That's what makes it. That's what separates barbers from anybody else that just cuts hair, is the detail work. So now I'm just lining up his C-cup, and I keep it very natural. I just work with whatever his natural lineup is, right? And now that I have it lined up, now I can kind of see a little bit better what I need to clean up in the fade. So I see some bulk around his ridge. And sometimes you're so focused on one thing during a haircut, you need to look away. You need your eyes to readjust, and I always say this. And that's what a lineup could do, or just looking away from the cut altogether. So now I got the 3-guard on there. I'm going to blend this ridge out just a little bit more. But it's pretty much there. That's the foundation. So now I'm just going back with the 2-guard open. Again, fading this down. I just want to point out the area right above his ear is always the hardest point to get out on a burst fade. So you want to make sure you spend some extra time there. Use your corners to really get that line out. Now I'm going to clipper over comb his ridge. And when I'm using clipper over comb, I'm taking about a 45-degree angle on the comb. I'm angling it 45 degrees towards me. I'm not totally flat on the head. Same thing as I'm doing some shear of a comb here with the blending shears. That's going to give it a nice soft look. So I always kind of finish clipper over comb with shear over comb. Again, detail, check those mirrors, look for dark spots. That's what I'm doing pretty much throughout the whole haircut. And it's all repetition, man. I know, if you're just starting out, don't get frustrated. It happens to all of us. You see a little spot that you could have cleaned up as your client's walking away. It happens. Take the time, double check those haircuts, keep checking the mirrors. You will understand, what you need to do in the time of the haircut as time goes on. You'll learn how to clean up those spots faster. So now, for time's sake, I'm just going to speed it up here. I'll let you watch. You're going to do the same exact steps on the other side. So I want to say his hair texture is a little harder to cut. He's like the hair that if you put a line in or you don't clean something up all the way, like, you're going to see it. Like, it's going to show in his hair. But I'm used to it already. This is about my third or fourth time cutting him, so you'll definitely see me go back in detail a lot, which I say you should do on every cut. So I'm using the Wahls Cordless Magic clippers here. Love these clippers. They're definitely my go-to. They're the first clipper I really learned how to cut on, and I just can't get away from them. I love them. Don't get me wrong, I love Babyliss too. Babyliss has the great FX clippers. I have the black and gold edition. Those are really great too. I'm probably going to do a customized one here soon. But I also just got the all metal magic clippers. If you notice, I use that on the other side of his head. So I like to switch it up, use different clippers, see if they could kind of blend into each other. Again, just softening up with some shear over comb here. And he's gonna let his back grow. He doesn't want anything off the top. Maybe just texturize if anything, but yeah, we're letting this back grow because he wants to get it as long as kind of like a Patrick Mahomes kind of look. So I'm just gonna clean it up and square it away for him. Now, he wanted a design in his hair, nothing crazy, kind of lets me do whatever I want. But I didn't want anything too crazy or abstract. I think for this haircut, something simple goes a long way. So notice how I'm dragging the trimmers as I do this. It's something very simple, but I kind of just tap and go, and it's a lot of corners. And see how I'm flipping the blade on my trimmers? That is to get the other side of that line. So use one side of the trimmer to get one side sharp, and use the other side of the trimmer to flip it to get the other part of the line sharp. I hope that makes sense. Right there, I was just kind of clearing some of the bulk to kind of make that design pop out a little bit more. And yes, I still went back and detailed some more. As you saw, I prepped his skin with just a little bit of aftershave to prep him for this color enhancement. It is optional. Okay, I know there's a lot of people that hate on color enhancements. I love to use them. My clients love it, so I'm not going to stop using them, okay? And I think it just enhances the cut that much more. Now make sure that it looks as natural as possible. So I just hit him with the hot towel there, which I use on every client. I'm going to razor his edges. And yes, for the lineup, I do more of a dry shave unless I know that my client has real sensitive skin. Then I'll put a little bit of Tomb 45 shave gel, best shave gel on the market. And now I'm going to style him up with some Tomb 45 pure powder. Love that stuff. It's great for adding texture. Then of course we're going to add my very own Campagna molding clay from my Barber brand, The Outfit, based around the Chicago mob and Al Capone. If you want to know more about that, check it out at theoutfitformen.com. And those are the results. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really hope you learned something. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, comment down below if you like the cut. Don't forget to follow me at Barber Dreams by Riggs for more cuts and videos. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and until the next time, I'll see you then.